Right, that's me included it. And we're starting
Hello
to see
and welcome to round 19 of the STB Racing League Season 15 World Championship. And we are here. We have just crossed the border from last week's location of the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, and we're currently here for what is going to be an incredible Grand Prix around the Circuit of the Americas for the United States Grand Prix. You join me, STB Maudi, you lucky people, again, for the 19th time, I lie, 17th time this season, or however long I've been commentating this season, you do find me every week. I am joined by Rigsy X once again. Rigsy, how are you feeling ahead of this evening's US Grand Prix? It's going to be an absolute crack.
First of all, it's good to be back in the STB racing series and back up in the commentary booth for hopefully another exciting race. One quick note of just quickly pointed out, quickly noticed there during your introduction, Maldi. I've seen most of the drivers are already out on their out laps very early on in the session, so I don't know if maybe like the weather, if it's kind of maybe a wee kind of weather kind of a threat of rain kind of coming in for the qualifying session, because you don't normally see them coming out this early. You normally wait until roughly around about this time,
Yeah.
but no, love to be in America. America's got this very sporadic relationship with Formula One. I think that would be the best way to describe that. We've been at Austin since 2012. It's been 7 years, coming 8 now in 2020. And the track's got a lot of... It's actually one of the few American tracks that Formula One's been to that's actually got a lot of character and love and respect in the Formula One world, because it gets really high turnouts, and it's one of the highest and the most popular races on the calendar. And I think I personally rank it quite high as well, despite maybe... I like watching the race. When I particularly get myself in the cockpit and drive it myself, I don't feel too good about it, but it's always a great race to watch, and I'm hoping it's going to be more or less the same in this league race that we are we're watching in qualifying. I'm not really too sure how it's going to go. We've got 3 championship contenders went down to 2 after the results last time out. Urban Unicorn is basically in no man's land in 3rd place regardless of what happens in the championship. Now it's down to Dominic and Eke for the championship, 20 points apart. So I'm hoping that goes.
Points now.
I'm hoping that goes down to the wire and we get a thrilling spectacle between the two. And there's a wee battle in the midfield kind of forming there as well, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes between Chukka, the two, Jam and Ham, and I think it's Toxic Fusion in there as well.
Jam
So
and Ham.
another midfield battle that we can sink our teeth into in these final races, as we're starting to see sometimes being put on the board. Mary's is the first to set a time with a 1:31.7, and the tyre strategy seems to be a bit mixed, Maldi.
Definitely. I'm pretty sure I seen someone go onto a set of hards, is it? But I can't see that. So, just there you go. I'm struggling to sort the timing screens here because I've sorted it. I just don't like having the tyres on there, and it kept showing the tyres, and I was very confused. But Buckley goes into P number 1 with 1:31.6. Definitely a driver that we've seen a lot at the front, especially if we look back at the Russian Grand Prix week. See, Buckley definitely won for, you can put the practice in, definitely won for contention in season 16, don't you think?
No, when I've sat and watched Buckley, I mean, I used to sit and he used to race in one of the leagues that I was in. And we knew when we seen him on the grid, he was always at the front, and it's the same in this league as well. He definitely has an abundance of talent and speed about him. But in Russia, he was up there fighting with Urban Unicorn and Dominic. That was the freeway battle for the win for most of that race. And Sochi, it was really entertaining, really exciting. And I think it was him just looking up his brakes at turn 5, and that cost him a decent result. I think he still got P2 or P3. I think he really kind of benefited in a sense, and Dominic lost out in that. I mean, my memory is a bit fuzzy on that, but no, Dominic is really kind of making a statement, but at the same time, we are still very early on in the session. The track will evolve as the time progresses through the qualifying session, and between the top 5, there's barely a cigarette paper between the two, is what James Allen would normally say. And Eki there, just setting the time light there. He's 3 tenths quicker than Buckley, and we're sitting here with just short of 12 minutes left to go in this session as we see yellow flags in the first sector. But before I continue and ramble on about the qualifying session, we are joined by Kyle, who drives for Haas, for the interviews.
Okay, Kyle, I'd like to include your order. I'm going to give you a quick interview and then you can get back out on track. So, Kyle, you've had a few races in the league. How are you finding your time in STB so far?
I like the league. I'm just not very happy with my performances. Retired at Japan. Had a poor result in Mexico. Got like 27 seconds of time penalties or something.
You had 27 seconds of time penalties, Kyle, but me and Riggsy did actually see you in Mexico, and the pace looked quite good. How is the pace looking in America, and do you think you could potentially challenge for some good points here this afternoon? Well, this evening.
I mean, I think my quality pace is going to be better than my race pace, but my first run was awful. I absolutely bowled the final corner. So I think I'm confident aiming for like P7 or 8.
And there are rumours that you've signed into the league for next season. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is.
Yes. Well, we hope to. We wish you the best of luck for tonight, and hopefully you can give us some great results as well next season.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Good luck for the race. So that is Kyle, everyone. P10 at the moment. Not the best of sessions so far for him. He did say he messed up on his first run, so he should be a lot. What's the word? A lot more comfortable, shall we say, into the next stages when he's done that banker lap.
I mean, definitely, because I mean, America is one of the few tracks that does really punish drivers for the exceeding track limits. I mean, you can sit and maybe take a little too much curb, or you can run wide, like the tiniest of margins, and it immediately invalidates the lap. So it is a very punishing and cruel circuit for track extended penalties. So maybe like getting the fullest out of the car is kind of, it really is debatable, and whether folk actually go through with that, because I mean, the tiniest wee twitch in the car, the latest of braking, it could cost you the lap because the track penalties are so severe. But I mean, we're seeing some reasonably quick qualifying times so early on in the session, and as the track evolves, it's only going to get faster. I mean, I'm seeing Urban Unicorn just doing a wee drift into the pit lane as Jam Hamilton on the lap. He's about to come in the final corner, and that's another thing there as well. I think it's just a personal thing, but I mean, I think I share this opinion with all the drivers on the grid. If the race is sunny, that last corner is going to be a pain, purely because the sun shines so bright on it in the game. So it's really hard to anticipate your braking point, your reference point, and where the actual curb is for turning in on that corner. So I mean, that's only if it's sunny.
Yes, definitely. I'm currently on board with Mariz. He's had a good first banker lap time. He's currently in P number 4. So we're going to keep on board with him, because he is going to be the nation's favourite next week in Brazil, as he has gone wide. But yes, definitely got the pace at the moment, P4, and of course next week he'll be at his home race. It should be a very, very good, interesting encounter for him next week. And he had a decent first race in Mexico. It wasn't the best, but he had a decent start to his STB experience. Churka then is going to start his lap in his Tarossa, of course, Riggsy. And I think Churka is definitely one of them drivers that is going to put a bit of a block between a block between Dominic and Eke, because obviously he's definitely going to be rooting for Dominic to win this championship. So he's going to try and get himself involved in that sort of battle. What do you think about the influence that Churka could potentially have in the next 3 weeks?
Like, Churka's definitely, I would consider to be one of the quickest in this racing league. but like I mean, Eke and Dominic are sharing a title battle. Like Dominic won the last time out in Mexico. Eke had that spin in lap 1, so it kind of put the point deficit down. But Churka, and I would maybe say the same for Buckley, the two Mercedes Ham Jam, they can all kind of get in about there as well. Churka's one of the influential drivers that can really put a wedge between the two championship contenders. I'm not sure how I feel about maybe him edging towards Dominic winning when he's when Eke is in the sister car, but I mean, he can definitely play a part, as I see him just cutting into the pits there. But like people who have speed and are able to contend for the win are definitely going to play a part in how the points will be distributed to everybody at the end of this race when the race comes in the next day.
Definitely. Obviously, Riggsy, all I was first thinking is obviously he's from the same country. He's one of Dominic's friends. Obviously, he's going to be wanting to show that support as Eke goes even quicker. And Maurice is really struggling to get the car stopped at the moment.
Sorry?
Maurice struggling to get the car stopped in the braking zone down the straight.
I mean, like, the braking point in the straight, I mean, I normally use the 100 metre board as the braking reference, but even then I find that to be too early. I think you need to leave it as late as you possibly can, maybe just before the 50 for that braking zone in turn 11, because it is quite, I mean, it's also quite a wide corner on that as well, so you're not going to lose it taking maybe a wee bit too much speed into it. He's back into the pits and he'll probably be preparing himself for his final run, but it's kind of shedding light on that now. In a sense, Churka's very conflicted, because it's either try and help out his compatriot Dominic, like as you said, they both come from the same country, they'll probably have more of a favour towards Dominic and maybe getting himself back into the championship, for taking the fight with Eke to the end and hopefully surpassing him and taking that championship crown. But then he's got the team, like he's got Eke, who is the championship contender, in the sister car, because Red Bull and Toro Rosso are owned both by Red Bull. So kind of how does he play that out? Like, I mean, I think the main aim for every driver is to take as many points as they possibly can for every race event.
Definitely.
So it is definitely going to be trying to do that, but I mean, he is going to, if he beats, I think that's good for everybody, regardless of where folk finish.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the gaps a moment. If we look at P5 to P11, the gap is just over a tenth. So it is very close in that midfield, between the mid part of the from fourth to about, you know what I mean. It's very, very close here in America, and it's going to be very special, this race. I always love coming to America. I've always loved it.
No, definitely, like, you've got P5 down to P11 and P12 there with Gravity, and again in there to he's 2 tenths off. But I mean, the track, it is purely just going to come back to the track evolution. It's going to come down to how well these drivers nail their final lap. It also emphasises the competitiveness in this league when driving 5th into P11 is literally split by a tenth. Like, I mean, you're going to have people in that block that are going to be like, oh, if I maybe just took an extra 100th of a second in a certain corner, or can I probably put the foot down that wee bit quicker? Like, they could have been P5 essentially, maybe even P4, because Jam Hammer isn't exactly safe either, because he's just edging above that. I mean, you've got Eke, Toxic and Ham Jam there in the top 3, separated with 2 tenths, and then you've got a 2 tenths down for his brother Jam in the Mercedes. So I think, literally, I don't think anybody's safe. It literally is an all to play for, like, situation in these final 3 minutes. We're going to start seeing some drivers coming out on their final out laps here and now, and I think people will most likely want to leave it to the last possible minute. They want to make sure they'll be the last person to set a time, because I feel like that's when it's definitely going to be quickest. So can definitely agree with you in that one. It is definitely going to be a very exciting final 2 minutes in this session here in
Urban
America.
Unicorn is currently 6 tenths up. He is on course for pole position at Rigsy for the United States Grand Prix. Original pole position for Urban Unicorn at the moment.
We're going to watch him. We'll sit on board with him for the final sector here as he's gone round the sweeping turn 18, and then it's followed very quickly by a sharp left. And it's very easy to run wide there and get your lap and validate it into turn 20.
Yeah, that sun
Nice
is
and
very
tidy.
bright actually. I've just seen that.
Net very tidy turn into 20, and that puts him fastest of the session so
There you
far.
go, I did say
150.
Urban Unicorn. Fastest
Oh.
time of the session there. That is an incredible... that is actually a very strong lap. Right.
Oh, definitely. It
and
definitely
Fusion's
puts
got
us
a lot of traffic on his lap.
He's going to have Matty through the S section here. Matty's just decided to go a wee bit off-road there to get out the line. I don't know if he maybe like interfered in the lap, and he's up to 200s. He's up to 200s to second as he's coming through turn 9, up and through 10. It's a wee kink to the left. He'll have turn 11 there. We'll see the other Williams. I'm assuming that will be... I think there's only one Williams that I'm maybe just seeing things, but I mean, run turn 10, down the DRS straight. That's a Williams, aye, so who's that? That'll probably be Matty. It was, I wasn't seeing things then.
There's a lot of tension between him and Matty. There's already is tension between those two drivers, and then because Matty got in the way, could definitely anger Fusion. He's only half a tenth up on his personal best in the second sector, Rizzy. So he's not what he wants as an improvement. You know, that pole position, but he's not managing that at the moment.
I know he's definitely experienced too much traffic in that lap, and he's running out ERS as well for the lap. So he comes round the fight on that, and he's going to come close to the timing beam at any point. He improves, but it makes him P5. He loses.
And Dominic, sorry, we
Dominic's
missed it. Dominic's up in a P2. Dominic's up in a P2. That's a strong lap from him. Eke's down now to P4. John started his lap here in America.
And Eke's
Jam
not
Ham's on the lap,
improving,
he's up.
Maldi. 2 tenths down. He's 2
Yeah,
tenths
Eke's not
down in the
improved. 2
first.
tenths down. 2
He's-
tenths down in the first sector he was, and then 9 seconds down in the second. So he's not had a good lap there, Rizzy.
And the checkered flag falls. The lap that they put in.
This is
will be the
absolutely
final
crucial,
lap.
Rizzy. Rizzy, this is absolutely crucial for Eke's championship at the moment. He's down in P5.
And who else is still looking at the lap? You've got John here.
John's on the lap here.
You've got John on the lap. You've got Ham Jam in the lap, and he's improving.
He's actually, sorry, Riggsy. Sorry, Riggsy. I forgot to mention. John's actually a returning driver here this evening. So he'll do a great job, a great sort of return to the league here as he tries out ready for next season. We have got Ham Jam then, currently a 10th up in the second sector. This is going to be a strong lap from the Alfa Romeo. My old teammate, of course, and he span it and he still improved. Now that's impressive.
No, you'll love to see it.
Beaten Eke down at P6. Dominic's up in the P2 Mercury. Mercury, sorry, is in P12. Yeah, it is crucial. If Dominic can get the good start over Urban Unicorn, get up to P1, and then you've got X on the grid. Down one. The drivers can easily get caught up in some big sort of crashes down in the back end of the field. So, Eke being P6, how close the grid is at the moment, it's definitely going to be danger territory there for the Red Bull.
And he's definitely he's on the dirtier side of the grid there as well, so his grid start can probably be hindered with that as well. He's going to have Toxic Fusion on the other side on the same row in P7. The checkered flag fell. No many people really improved all that much there at the end. We did see Ham Jam jumping up. We've seen Dominic jumping up to P2. He's on the front of the Unicorn. Kind of has hands here, Muddy. He's kind of finding himself not quite in the midfield, but he is not too far out for it. He would much rather have preferred, obviously, a bit definitely up in P. Gives Dominic the prime to take. Hope P1 into the first corner. It's a very wide turn one, and it's just a match for for Eke, for Dominic, for them all.
For nowadays,
and
I'm not racing tonight, Riggs.
And Lauderdale, we forgot to tell the viewers that you're going to be jumping down in one of these cars. They just didn't want you to do a qualifying session. But anyway, United States qualifying session has concluded with Urban Unicorn in the Mercedes taking pole position, and he shares the front row with Dominic. I think that's the best possible qualifying session Dominic could have had, especially since Eke is in P6. Well,
so then, Riggsy, it's gonna kick off here tonight. We've got 19 hungry drivers. 19 hungry drivers and one hungry commentator, because I'm absolutely starving. I don't know if you're starving tonight, Riggsy, but physically, of course. But I'm absolutely starving. So, but we are ready for the United States Grand Prix. Everyone, keep tuned. It's gonna be an absolute cracker, and we see some clouds overhead. This track, Riggsy, can I just say, this pit lane, I don't know, but I've always, we've always had this in season 1 in STB, in terms of me, because I'm a very visual sort of person. I always used to look at the surroundings when I was younger. Bit weird, I know. But the pit lane is actually very special. You've got the people, I believe a bit like Silverstone, for example. You just got everyone, all the spectators, just, above the pit garages. It's incredible.
I think
it adds that extra uniqueness to the circuit as well.
It definitely does its best to immerse the fans and get them as close as they possibly can to the pit crews and the pit boxes without actually being in them. No, you don't normally see that. It's some of the circuits normally they're closed off, like exclusive club areas, and it's going to seal after the public, but definitely not in the United States. You even see it up there on the grandstand, on the above the pit boxes there as well, and pit lane. Those two tiers.
Riggsy, sorry, you were saying before the Grand Prix that you've never seen a wet STB race. Wow. Guess what? We have been treated to another dry STB race. Let's just give it a round of applause, because this is now the longest running STB without rain falling.
The streak
I don't think there's been rain in
continues.
qualifying this season. This season has been the driest season we've ever had in the history of STB. It is dry. And I'm not being serious this season, I'm being literal. It is literally the driest race, the driest season. But Urban Unicorn starts off this 19th driest race of 2019 then, of season 15. He starts a pole position, and it will be alongside Dominic. Dominic will be hungry, Riggsy, for that position into turn number 1, especially how Eke is in P number 6. Third will be his fellow countryman Churkat. Fourth on his return to STB as well, Riggsy, I forgot to say. Ivanti 18, that's a good, strong qualifying from the Ferrari. Fifth, Hamjam, that's a decent result from him. Eke already said, he's 6th. Fusion is going to be hungry for that position into turn 1. John MH is in P8, he's also returning Riggsy. 9th, Mariz, all the way from Brazil. He'll be opening for his star performance, his star sort of... the attention ought to be on him next week in Brazil. 10th is KF Libero. I mean, that's a decent qualifying from him. Another top 10 qualifying. We've seen that a lot this season, Riggsy. He's very consistent, is Libero. 11th is Gravity, and he's gone for a set of mediums there. 12th is Jam Ham. I got confused there. Mercury's in P13. That could well be lucky, or it could well be the demon. The Demon of Demons there in P13. 14th is Sync Buckley. 15th is Danny. 16th is the Williams of Matty. He's opted for a set of softs. 17th is Kyle. 18th is Cody. And 19th is Stalo. Riggsy, quick predictions. Who's going to win America?
Dominic.
Here we go then. So Riggsy said Dominic. I say whoever crosses the line in first position. But we have got 3 laps of the gantry. It is 5. And for the 19th time this season, it is go! Now, I was wrong about the start. That's an incredible start there from the McLaren of Dominic. He's lost no time there, getting down into turn number 1, and he's already took the lead. Now he's going to have to try and defend from Urban, and he's got it. Dominic leads into turn number 1. I was trolled last week because I said Eke had a great start and he lost 2 positions. Down then into in the sweeping section here, down in the first sector, we've got Mercedes off the track there. That is Jam Ham. He's had a dismal start there in America. Riggsy, what are you seeing at the back of the field? I think we've had a spinner. It's Danny.
Danny has spun in the S section there. I didn't actually really catch what happened there, but he's lost it. He did start in P15, so he's lost it, and he's finally out at the back of the field, 6 seconds adrift for Cody, who is the next nearest driver to him. Any big winners and losers? No, really. People picked up 2 places. Matty and Kyle. Buckley lost 2 off the start. Dominic, most importantly.
Sorry, there's Vanzi up the inside of Churka here. It's Churka versus Vanzi down into the 3rd sector. And that's good racing there from the Ferrari of Vanzi's up in the P3, but Churka's going to be right back on him now, and he's got Eke behind him. He's got Ham Jam, so it's a big, long train for this victory. It's going to be a good, I can feel it. In my non-existent waters, Riggsy. It's going to be a good race.
Oh, definitely. The start has proven it was surprisingly quite clean. It was unfortunate about Danny getting caught up in a spin during the S section there, but it is really tight, especially when there's 19 monstrous motor cars trying to fin their way and manoeuvre their way through the S section. Important note to make on that start. Dominic's done what he needed today. He's got Urban Unicorn behind, and all he needs to do is just put the heat down, keep himself focused, focus on his race strategy, and aim for 25 or 26 points if he gets the fastest lap as well. I think he's doing what he's needed to do so far, so hoping that he sticks that out. Evansi, Churka gave us a wee bit of a taste of maybe hopefully what's to come this race. Eki made a place up in P5, Ham Jam lost it on the start. But I mean, it's only lap 2 of 28, the drivers are still very much bunched together, as we're seeing Cody
Matty versus Mercury here down at the back of the field.
And Kyle and Cody's retired for the session. I did just see him getting slapped with a 10-second time penalty there for a corner cut, and I think he might have cut the whole 1st sector or something for that penalty. But we find him retired on lap 2 of 28, and there's yellow flags out in the 2nd sector. We see the Haas and the Williams going side by side for a P14. You've got Williams, Matty on the inside, Kyle looking for his wide a long way.
Oh, Matty's forced him off wide. That's going to give Buckley the opportunity. Buckley's going to be very fuming at the moment because he's got a bad reputation in terms of his relationship with Matty, so he won't be happy that he's behind the Williams. But it's all kicking off everywhere on the field, Riggsy, and I think the grid is not really spaced out that much. I think the gap is around 3-4 seconds between the whole field, excluding Danny. So it's very close still here in America in the gaps. We'd expect them to get much bigger, but they're not really increasing that much. Heavy Unicorn still on the attack then on Dominic, and the clouds. I can see a lot more than there were a few that one. So
we can probably sit in days many rain dances in the commentary box as we want, and there's still been rain. But RS is enabled. Urban Unicorn is definitely within range. Will probably be.
We're going to see the first overtake off the race, Riggsy. Sorry to interrupt you there, but it's going to get interesting now. Dominic is going to go defensive, is he not? No, he's not. Nice. So here we go then. He's going to have to go defensive on the outside. He's going to have the inside for the next one after, so it's going to be all about the traction.
And Urban Unicorn passes Dominic. I think Dominic's maybe just playing the smarter here. I mean, I think the last thing that any of these drivers want is any wing damage or any other kind of mechanical mishap so early on in the race, because it really does ruin the strategy. So I think maybe he's just kind of saying, right, we'll let him by, no put him much of a fight, just going to see how the kind of first few laps go. He has definitely got the pace to kind of keep within, because you've got Evansix. I don't know how it looks like Evansix. I don't know if I'm butchering his name. Evansix, right? I'll go with that one. I've just completely butchered his name a few times there, so I'll send out my apologies to him. Chukka's holding up Eke there on P5, and Ham Jam is kind of finding himself drifting away for this battle for 5th, and he's got Toxic Fusion and John there for company as well. They'll be keeping him on his toes in the early stages. Chukka has been slapped with a penalty there for multiple warnings. So like it is very easy to pick up track extension penalties. Like so, it will really.
Urban Unicorn's gone deep into the hairpin, and now Dominic's had a great exit out the corner. Riggs said it's going to be another overtake, I think, in the race. Here we go then, DRS for Dominic, and he's going to be on the inside, closer than Urban was to him a lap ago. And it's going to be put into the inside line, and it's going to be a pretty straightforward move for the McLaren. So.
Oh, and he's got the Ferrari alongside him.
And now Ivanzi.
And Ivanzi's gone for a shot too. He's gone for around the outside, and they're still side by side through the tight sequence of corners. He's going to have the inside to the left. He turns 17. He makes the move stick. Ivanzi's is up into P2. Urban Unicorn has lost 2 places on that lap there. So he finds himself in 3rd position after that. Ferrari's up into P2, and he's got the McLaren of Dominic in his sights. So, and he'll have DRS down into turn 1. So we'll see if he makes any gains. It's too short there straight to actually make much kind of road, but he has a wee cheeky look there I seen there, but he just decided to say, nah, I'll just patch that. I'll sit behind him through the first sector and see how I fare with that.
Dominic needs to win. Dominic needs to win here in America. This is a great opportunity for Eke. And Eke's got a penalty. Eke's got a penalty. This is crucial. It's all about your... I think the way that this game is manufactured, if that's the right word, Riggsy, is obviously stay in the slipstream of the other drivers, don't pick up penalties, and you'll win a championship. I think that's really the method. Obviously, you've got to have the pace, but talking about... It's all about strategy on this game, more than others. You've got the ERS, you've got the staying in the slipstream, you've got all these factors that mean that it's very easy to actually keep in some sort of position. And Eke's got the overtake done on Joker, but Joker's on the inside. He's going to be fighting that. One of his his fellow countrymen fighting in the championship, and Joker can't do much there to defend from the Red Bull. So Eke's up in the P4. That's a good result there from, good overtake, shall I say, from the Finn. Going for his 2nd title.
He definitely needed to make that move. We couldn't afford to sit behind Chucker for that much longer. Chucker definitely didn't make it look easy on him there for the overtake there. So Eke is up into P4. He is a second to drift the Urban Unicorn, and he'll be locking to
Van's up the inside, Van's up the inside. He's gone for the dive bomb move on the first corner. Dominic's going to get the undercut move there. Oh, look at this. This is incredible. Side by side then through the S section, and Ivanzi there. Ivanzi was close, and he's got a penalty.
The Ferrari definitely making a statement so early on in the race, lap 6, and he's sitting here tussling with Dominic for the lead so early on in the race. He's definitely out here to make a name for himself.
Urban's getting pressure as well, so Riggs it.
He had a lunge, and it piped off for a moment, but Dominic just seen it coming, made the switch back, and he's going to have another go. Dominic's immediately over to the left, so it's going to be the long way. Oh, he's back to the right on that camera angle, so Advantix is going to be up the inside, and he's going to give Dominic a wee bit of the squeeze. Urban Unicorn's going to have a wee luck there too as well, but doesn't make it. Dominic had enough traction off the exit there to maintain his 2nd position, and Urban Unicorn gave him a wee tap there as well, just to tell him to get a wee bit of a hurry up there, but Dominic's finds himself in P2. Urban Unicorn still in 3rd place, but the tussle between the top 3 is definitely going to be played into the hands of Eke, who is going to watch this battle unfold.
Jam Ham's had a spin in his Mercedes.
Jam Ham is doing into 16th, so I don't know what's happened to him there, but he's definitely no gone.
Riggsy, so I keep cutting you off this evening. Dominic, the gap is 0.6 of a second, and he's not even overtaking in the fight. This is actually a great drive so far from Ivanzi. He's really proven himself in his return to the league this evening. 4th, Eke then, 7/10, and then it's a little gap behind to Cherka. So I think there's been some sort of damage or some sort of collisions going on, because the gap is very long, or very large, from 4th to 5th, 1.9 seconds, and I believe Cherka was up there at one point. So
Cherka's I mean, like, they're starting, like, I mean, it's still only lap 7, it's still really early days in this race. We're seeing some people coming in and making some pit stops onto the hard. I think they make, like, they're just going for damage limitation at this point. We did see Jam having, I don't know if it had a spin or he kind of picked up some damage. So he's pitted and put on the hard tyres, hoping to go to the end and maybe hope for a safety car or something that definitely.
For me at the moment.
On lap 8 of 28, Evansix as our race leader started P4. He is leading this race after a Dominic in this race. Dominic started P2. He led on the exit 100 for a few meters away, and then low. He sits in P2. Urban Unicorn sits on this pack is slowly finding a life. It was Unicorn there. Hamjam up in P5. He's from A, and he'll have Mercury Toxic having a wee tussle for P16 and P17 earlier in the races. We see the leader Evansix in for a pit stop, and he is making the call. He is one of the first drivers to blink at the front. Toxic Fusions into the pit lane as well, and Evansix onto the hard tyres. So that'd be interesting. I think some people are going to be very split on strategy as well. Go up there and sort of take Libiero once again. But no, I feel like the strategy will be very split. I think you pick a soft and what. But I think like drivers like Evansix and Churka, who only really so confident in their race car, or is they really confident in the tyre degradation, will try and push for a softy hard just to ensure that they'll definitely make it to the checker flag on the one stop. So it'll be interesting to see how Urban Unicorn, Dominic, Eke, Hamjam, how they combat their main pit stop and see what tyre they go into. If they want to do a soft medium,
around the outside
they definitely
of Hamjam there, and he's got the overtake gun. Dan Pinker's got damage to his front wing. That was pretty straightforward there from Zoe Rosso.
And Mercury's up into P4. We'll have to Hamjam's nobody's left end plate there. He's going to have some wedge on the rail, so he'll be looking to pit. If I was him, I'd probably have the Alpha Romeo on standby as I see him coming to the pit lane. Does he come through turn 19 into the pit lane? He does. He'll be looking to get that wing changed, so he'll definitely lose it on Tottenham. And Augustin
He's just
Eke's put in an Aston lap here if he's to try and lose as little time as he can on this stops only just at turn 11. He finishes it on the podium places in this race. Mixed Dalio up in P4, Evansix fucking Unicorn there on and we see Mary's retired for this session. I don't know what happened there, but there is yellow flags out in the second sector. So we'll need to see what's happened there, but the yellow flags are still waving, so drivers will need to be prepared to slow down and even be prepared to stop. The yellow flag has been quite consistent. They're normally quite that's away now, as I said, so just kind of complaining about the yellow flag being out, it's quickly away. So we can say well done to the marshals on that as we see Dominic in and he's on the mediums. So Dominic is on board with Eke and Fusions and Hamjam on the pit strategy. So it is definitely split, and it is definitely more interesting that way because it kind of brings a bit of mystery and bit of strategy into it. So we'll need to see how these laps unfold. We need to see how quick they can get the tyres up to temperature. And Eke has lost out to Dominic. He's lost out quite a bit actually. Going that long, he's fairly still behind his championship rival, but he's on fresher rubber, so we'll need to see how that goes, Maldi.
Definitely, Churko was very aggressive on the defending there. I think he's definitely trying to help Dominic here. He's trying to back Eke up into his fellow countryman, but it's definitely working. He's definitely caught good few tenths there in the first sector, so it's definitely good right here for Dominic.
And sitting there, tussling for position there. Churka, Dominic makes the move on Churka. Eke up into P6, and John's retired. He's had a crash.
John's out. What's happened to him?
John's had an accident. His car's in the barrier. Don't know what happened. I don't know if it was just maybe lit up the rear tyres a wee bit too aggressively there, and his car's veered off to the right into the wall. So he's retired and he's left the session. Mari's left the session there as well.
Virtual safety car is deployed here in USA. That's going to neutralise the pace as Mercury leads here in America. Second is Buckley as car gets drive-through penalty or speeding under virtual safety car. Third is Mextalo, Rixie. So it's definitely starting to kick off here in America in terms of penalties.
Penalties will really come into play and how the race results will be determined. Again, we're kind of talking about the cruel nature of the track and how easy it is just to track extend, particularly in the first sector. Like you're trying to go through the first left, right sequence of corners as quick as you possibly can, but it is very easy just to cut the corner that wee bit too much, and the stewards only slow and clamping you with a penalty or a warning with that. So it'll be really interesting to see how that affects the race result, because we are seeing people picking up some penalties, and that will definitely shape the final race result. So you never know, the person that crosses the line first might not even finish first, or they might not even finish in the top 3 if it's close or whatever. I mean, that's just chucking theories out there, but we'll need to see how the race goes before we can kind of sit and speculate that. But definitely strategy. Definitely time penalties will play a part in that.
Well, strategy will as well, because it looks like he's currently leading the Grand Prix, of course. He's and he's on a set of mediums, whereas a lot of other people in the grid are going, opting for that two-stop probably. I don't think you can go. I don't think you can take mediums. How long these drivers want to. So, some are going for hard, some are going for mediums. So, but definitely strategy is going to play a bit. Seventh is Dominic, and he's behind his championship rival at the moment. He needs to get as many points over the Red Bull as possible, Rixie.
I definitely was. He's lost it being on that wee bit longer on the first stint. Just all in favour for fresher rubber as in the later stages of the race. I mean, albeit it is only a 1 lap difference in terms of tyre life.
Can I just say something? He's had no warnings as Dominic for his penalties. That's good, that is.
And Eke's sitting finding himself with a 3-second time penalty. He got that quite early on, so I don't know, maybe Dominic is getting race information through his team. Maybe, I'm not saying sit behind Eke all race, but we will definitely see him make a move at some point if he keeps the pace, because Dominic knows he needs to get past if he's want to keep his championship well and truly alive, get into Brazil and hopefully carry that momentum through to Abu Dhabi in 2 weeks' time. So I don't know, he definitely needs to make his way past, because the gap will go down. Try this quick math in my head. The gap will be 22.
20 at the moment.
It's 20 now, so I'll set it and it'll be 22 if it finishes the way as if Checo was to wave the new America, he would be the race winner.
Oh, this is crucial. This is absolutely crucial now, because Dominic needs to get past Urban now. If Urban can't get back past Eke, he's got traffic now, basically.
Dominic definitely needs to find his way past Urban Unicorn. Eke is cutting his way through the traffic, so Dominic needs to do the same if he's trying to keep up with his championship rival. Urban Unicorn found himself out with the points range last time out in Mexico, so he's no longer in contention for the title mathematically. So, and I looked at the championship standings, Maldy, Urban Unicorn, I'm not going to sit and throw a curse out, but Urban Unicorn can literally off the 3 worst races and still finish for the championship. He is literally in no man's land in the standings. But that's a very solid season for Urban Unicorn to be for the Drivers' Championship, and he's definitely playing his part.
Dominic's done
We
it,
see
sorry.
Dominic's gone up
Dominic's
the
gone for it.
inside,
Dominic needed to do that. He needs to get the good traction.
and he's still not. Urban Unicorn's going to be side by side with him there, but he wasn't alongside enough to take the inside of turn 18. Dominic makes his way past
Right then.
up at P6, and Eke is right in front of him.
That's him cleared now, Riggsy. So now Riggsy, he has to now put his foot down and catch up to his championship rival. It's all about these points on the board for Dominic.
Dominic is, I mean, in a sense, if Dominic has no warnings, like you were saying just a moment ago, Mal, there, he's got no warnings. Eke's got a 3-second time penalty. So I don't know. I don't really like the fault Dominic just sitting in the slipstream at Eke, just to kind of take the place like that easily. Like I think Dominic really needs to kind of get his finger out in a sense to try and get himself past Eke, and then hunt down Ivancic, who is 2.5 seconds up the road on a set of hard tyres.
I think he's on a different strategy though. Obviously he's on a different strategy, so
Ivancic is definitely he is definitely more or less going to make it to the end on the hard tyres. It's just I think the strategy is split purely down onto the driver's confidence on the medium tyres and their durability, because you've got drivers, Ivancic, Urban Unicorn, Chucker. I know Jam having gravity pitted early on for this set of hard tyres, but people on the hard tyres definitely don't feel too comfortable and too confident in their ability to make the mediums last to the end. Whereas you've got Eke and Dominic, who are going to be quicker in terms of actual track pace. We've seen the gap in one sector between Ivancic and Eke cut before tenths. So we need to see Eke and Dominic making a move on. And we need to see Dominic making a move on Eke if he's trying to cut down the points deficit. We've still got Mercury, Buckley and McStally, who is the top 3 at the present moment in lap 16 to 28. They still need to pit. So when they pit, Eke and Dominic go from 5 and 6 to 2 and 3. And then the points paying positions are definitely different. And the actual proportion of points will be a lot more significant when they pit. So I mean, I don't know. I really don't like the thought of Dominic maybe just sitting in the slipstream. He is definitely keeping the pace. So we might see him make a move down into turn 11 as we see Kyle retiring there. He didn't say he's qualifying because he's a bit on his race pace. I don't actually know what happened to him there. But he is retired and he is out of this race in the United States. Dominic is close enough, but not close enough to make the move. Yellow flags are waved in the first sector. And Buckley is now a race leader, having a wee tussle with Mercury for the lead of this race. McStallio is not too far behind. Ivancic is 2.3 seconds off this battle for the podium. Eke and Dominic are cutting the gap down though. That gap can do from 2.5 to 1.6 in a matter of a lap, so we should see the two title rivals on the rear wing of the Ferrari hopefully by the end of this lap, if not by the start of the next. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how that goes and kind of how that all plays out come the time.
definitely. Riggsy, I'm sorry, I'm so concentrated in this battle. It's honestly like at this point in the championship, it's pretty much been decided. Whereas now, like this season, it's close going into Brazil. You know, at the moment, the gap would be just 22 points at the moment. But still, that is still a decent sort of gap going into the final two races. We'd love it Riggsy obviously to be much closer than 22 way now, but you know, it's still decent.
I think we'll definitely see this battle between the two title contenders spice up in the final laps of the race for Dominic. Whilst, like, I don't know, like, drivers sit and kind of compute and they kind of sit in their cockpit and they sit and think about how the race is unfolding when to make the attack, how to save the ERS, how to save the tyres, tyre management, fuel management. All this is going on in the heats now, and they actually try and save as much of it as they possibly can for an attack late on in the race. And I think that's what Dominic might be doing as we see Buckley coming into the pits now. So
he's going to be on set softs.
And Buckley will be rapid in these final 10 laps with a set of fresh, soft tyres there on the Renault. But I think like it's just a matter of just like we're definitely seeing Eke and Dominic closing in on the Van 6 and on the Ferrari, and he's on the slower, harder tyres. So if when Eke and Dominic get that close, I don't know if maybe they're waiting until then before they start making a chance for the win. I don't know if maybe even if Van 6 has got any penalties. Let me just quickly check that the new. I don't remember seeing his name coming up, but he's already got he's got
Sorry,
a 3-second time penalty.
Stalo's in the slipstream on Mercury here.
And does he make the move, stick round the outside? He does. He does eventually. Mercury got good traction on the exit, but it wasn't enough to keep the place. Stalio as the race leader.
Dominic's trying his luck on Eke here as well.
And
it's all kicking off. It's all kicking off here in America.
It's the spice, Maldy. The spice is kicking in now. Lap 18 of 28, and we've seen two moves. One for the lead, one for P4, but one stuck, one didn't. But the race definitely liven up now. And talking about penalties there, Mercury literally is just on the subject of penalties. He's picked up a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting, but I think that's maybe just for taking a quicker line into the pit lane, so maybe he's just been picked up for that. But Evansix is one warning off another time penalty, so as it stands, Dominic as the race, let's no saying out of turn.
That's good. That's good.
But Evansix is one warning shy. Yes, another penalty, which will take his penalty total to 6 seconds. Eke is on 3 seconds. Dominic is not even on a warning. Wait, is he on the warning? Let me just quickly double check that. No, not a warning. But he's definitely going to be in the slipstream of the Red Bull. Eke is going to be a sitting duck here. Doesn't even attempt to defend. Dominic goes up the inside, gives him the squeeze, lead pinch on the outside, takes the lane into 11, up into P2. Van 6 is just up the road. But Eke is fine back. A wee look up there on the front right of the McLaren. The Red Bull Eke was looking there, and Eke will be taking the wider line into 17 to get better traction on the exit. Will he be alongside the road on the outside of the speed 18? No, he is not. Dominic gives them a tight wee squeeze there again to make sure that the move on the outside wasn't on the cars for the Red Bull. Through turn 19, very nip and tuck there between the two, and into lap 20 they go as the Vasquez close to the line. Lap 20 of 28, 8 laps remaining. Dominic immediately on the defensive, and he quickly resumes the racing line.
I need to quickly go and get some batteries so we can still stream. So take us through the battle, which can be an absolute cracker. Ivanzi leads, second Dominic, third is Eke.
Aye, and we've got Buckley there setting the fastest lap of the race. There he is on the softer tyre. Fastest lap there, a 1:34.9, the only driver to set a time in the 1:34 bracket. So as it stands, he would pick up the extra point for fastest lap. And Buckley, speaking of Buckley, picks up a 3-second time penalty there, maybe chancing his luck there with the track limits. And Dominic there with Eke. Eke is going to have some DRS on the McLaren. We'll ride on board. I'll ride on board with Eke. He's no close enough to make the move. Sticks behind him this time around. Dominic up into still in P2, Eke P3. Evancic still is your race leader as we say goodbye to Kyle. He has packed up his stuff and he has left the session. So the Haas driver, we didn't really catch what happened to him, but he has left the session. Evancic there is still our race leader here on the hard tyres, and definitely in the DRS range here as well. Advanced will have a lot to contend with in these coming laps. Toxic Fusion finds himself. He finds himself 3.7 seconds off the race lead in P4. Urban Unicorn is in P5 in the Mercedes after starting in pole position. It's a slightly backward drive for the Mercedes, but it's a strong drive nonetheless. He's up in P5. Chaka qualified P3 and hasn't really kind of seemed too confident in his actual race pace and race strategy. He finds he's still doing P6. Libiero and Hamjam having the tussle for P7, and they'll be quickly joined by Buckley, who'll be much fresher, softer rubber there as well. Buckley is definitely rapid at this point in the race with a light fueled car and softer rubber, so we'll be watching him, and he'll probably most likely make some quick work at the Alfa Romeo and Ferrari ahead. And next style is in P10, Mercury P11. Jamham had to pit early on after picking up some damage. He sits in P12. Gravity in P13. I think likewise the same. Matty in P14 and DJ Danny had the spin on lap 1. He is the last of the runners up in P15. 35 seconds adrift off the race lead. So Dominic and Becky are definitely closing into Advanced here in Ferrari as they come in the final corner to start lap 22 of 28, and Advanced will definitely have a lot in his hands to contend with here. He's got the two championship contenders behind him. He started in I think it was P4 he started, let me just quickly double check that. He started in P4, was really punchy at the start, and he was able to get past Urban Unicorn, and he got up by Dominic at turn 1. They had a wee battle there, a wee tussle for that, and he had the lead for a bit, pitted early. He wasn't confident in the medium tyres, which is why he's on the hards. So he is definitely making sure he's making it to the end of this race in 7 laps time, if you're counting the one we're on currently. But coming through turn 10, Dominic and Eke will have DRS on the Ferrari. The Ferrari is kind of taking a bit of a weird line there. He was on the red stuff there.
Very just in line.
He was on the red stuff there, but Dominic is up the inside of the Ferrari. We squeeze there up into the race lead. He goes. Advanced is in second place, and he will have Eke in P3 right under the rear wing of the Ferrari, who will be hoping to make quick work of that as much as Dominic did. So we'll need to see how quick Eke can get past Advanced. And Toxic Fusion and P4.
Sorry, something that I've just been observing the last few laps. These clouds look quite dark.
It's definitely looked darker than it did at the start. Clouds of sort of just clouded over the race circuit here in the United States at Austin. So I don't know if maybe we're in for a wee surprise of rain. I mean, it is still bright in some parts of the track, like definitely in the S section it definitely looks a lot brighter as we ride on board with Toxic Fusions. It definitely still looks quite sunny in that sector, but it does definitely look darker in the final sector. But I mean, any threat of rain now might spice up the race, but I mean, knowing our luck with rain in the STB season 15, we've always kind of drawn the short straw in these situations. But I mean, Brazil is known for wet weather, so they can maybe hope and pray and a wing a prayer for that. But we're in Brazil in a week's time, Monday the 20th of January, 7 o'clock GMT. Be sure to tune in. There's your late race advertisement for the next year.
Brazil is actually going to be incredible. Let me just put that out there. Brazil all of it, honestly.
I think Brazil is top 3 for me, 100%. Like, it is just such a great track, such great history. It's just such, just no words for it. I think the atmosphere's brilliant. The history behind the track is brilliant. Championships
the
are
language
down
is
to the
quite
wire,
good as well,
quite literally.
I do know a bit of Portuguese, so quite well.
Oh, we'll be looking forward to the Portuguese introduction next time out in Sao Paulo.
Brazilian
so
Portuguese.
I'll be looking forward to it. Next Monday. So, but we are in Brazil in a week's time. So hopefully hopefully in the perspective for the fans and for the neutrals of this race series, we see the championship deficit cut and the points deficit reduced for a more exciting title battle. I'm hoping it goes to Abu Dhabi.
I think, Rigsy, it could potentially go to Abu Dhabi, and I think, let's just hope there's no sort of any developments in this battle, as Vance's tries a little lot there. But what I think could be very interesting, Rigsy, is obviously if Dominic wins this race and Eke, of course, finishes second, which of course at the moment is going to happen, that the gap would be decreased to 13 points. And if the same happens in Brazil, the gap is 6 points. Then in Abu Dhabi, Rigsy, it matters if Dominic and Eke both come first and second. It would then matter on who actually wins the race. But I think that is the ideal sort of scenario that we could be expecting for Abu Dhabi. We've not had this sort of championship battle for a good few seasons now in STB, Rigsy. It's always been won at either America actually or Brazil. It's not really been won at Abu Dhabi since, really, I would say, the early seasons, and then after that it's not really been it's been won before. So we always want it to go to the Abu Dhabi, and I think, Rigsy, we're going in for a cracker this season, because I think it will.
And not definitely, I feel like we've got two heightened drivers, two kind of high quality drivers, and we've got an echo Maldi, I've got an echo in your mic.
Sorry,
I can hear myself twice. But we've got two high quality world class drivers sitting tussling it out for the drivers' championship. And as fans of the sport, as commentators, as neutrals, as everybody, I think, even as the drivers themselves, they want this to go to the end. They want this to be decided on the final race, and I think that's what makes the sport great when it happens. I think it's absolutely brilliant that the race, the championship, is decided in the final race. I mean, when championships are decided in America or in Brazil or in Mexico or El Leon, it kind of takes away that kind of quality in a sense, but at the same time you kind of go faulting the driver that won with a few races to spare purely on the basis of just Robert is a final a championship finale. So, and if Ansix is up the inside turn 1, Dominic is just doing the switchback yet again, but they'll go side to side through turn 2 and 2 as they rambling about championships and everything else. But there is a battle about to kickstart once again for this race lead here, as Dominic was
Rigsy,
I think I was
at the
definitely
moment,
surprised.
sorry, I don't think Dominic's got no penalties, so it wouldn't really matter. He's got no warnings. Dominic's got no warnings whatsoever. Ivan's got 2 penalties, he said earlier, and so has Eke. Eke's now got 2 penalties. So I think Dominic's won this race. And even if it finishes like this, Rigsy, the gap is 10 points. The gap will be 10 points in the championship, Rigsy, going into Brazil if it finishes this way. So all Ivan has to do is finish ahead of Eke upon our hands.
And Ivan's is kind of difficult for Dominic here as well, as he's going to have a look up the inside of 12.
I think Dominic just needs to let him go. Dominic just seriously needs to let him go, Rigsy.
And Ivan's gave him a wee push there. He was going to go for the switch, but Dominic had covered it off. But the Ferrari was going to go up the inside of 17, and Dominic read it. But it wasn't enough for the Ferrari to make that move stick, and he tapped the rear of the McLaren there. Hopefully he's not get any damage on the front wing of that Ferrari. But I mean, Dominic, I don't know, Maldi, Dominic might be in this situation. He doesn't know how many penalties these drivers are going about him.
Dominic at the moment, this is big for the championship. This is big at the moment. And Eke can't get
definitely.
Sorry.
Definitely needs to keep yourself out of trouble. Definitely needs to keep yourself out of trouble, Maldy. Like, Dominic can't afford advance it to chance he's locking, push his way through. I honestly, like, I mean, it's a whole different perspective for us because we have control and records of penalties for each driver, but they might not get that to the fullest extent. So maybe Advantic is sitting here saying he needs to make the move for the win. But even then, he's not going to put 3 seconds, he's not going to put 6 seconds for that win. So I don't understand why he's really trying it. Maybe it's just for the sake of saying, oh, at least I tried for the win. I think that's probably what he's trying to do.
I think personally, Riggsy, I just think that Dominic should let Ivanzi through. You know, Dominic wants this championship. You'll want it to go to Abu Dhabi. You know, speaking from neutral, you know, commentator standpoint, Dominic's standpoint, of course, and everything like that. Speaking from that point of view, Dominic needs to let Ivanzi through, let Ivanzi win the race, finish less than 6 points, but less than 6 seconds ahead of him, and keep Eke at bay. So Ivanzi can get ahead of Eke, because at the moment, the race is going to be how, you know, it's going to finish the way that it is at the moment. So I'm so happy. Eke, for example, needs to hope that Ivanzi and Dominic have some sort of collision. They both spin out the race and he can win and then win the championship. That happens in Brazil. So, all these scenarios, Riggsy. But at the moment, we've got the ideal one for the championship in Brazil.
I've just had a wee nosy at the penalties, and an interesting development would be the Urban Unicorn, if he keeps the pace, would finish second.
That's even more crucial.
He's only got 1 penalty.
That's even more crucial for the championship, Riggsy.
So that would definitely put some extra life into the championship. Urban Unicorns only got 1 penalty. Eke and Advanced find themselves sitting with 6 seconds worth of penalties at this moment in time. And I only say it like that because
Advanced on the inside.
Dominic,
He's always going for that dive bomb moves. I love it.
I'll say this.
Dominic,
he
don't fight
loves
it.
a dive
Don't
bomb.
fight Dominic.
He loves a dive bomb. Definitely, I think he's got that confidence on the brakes, like I was talking about Buckley a few races ago. He's definitely got it. He might overshoot it, but at least he tries it. He uses a wee bit of oomph. But anyway, round the final 2 corners, Advances will see the checkered being waved on the left. He takes the race. He finishes the line.
Is Urban going to finish it? Yes, he is! That is crucial for the championship, Riggsy. As a spectator, I'm so happy about that race. 4th is now Eke. 3rd is Ivanzi. 2nd is Urban Unicorn. 1st is your race winner, Dominic. Riggsy. This is getting close. Mercury is going to miss out on the points. He's going to finish in P11. 12th is Jamham. That's a poor result from him, actually. 13th is Gravity. Then we've got Matt and Danny finishing the race. But Riggsy, Libero gets his best race of the season. He's in P6 and he joined in Japan, I believe. 7th, Hamjam, another decent display. 8th, Buckley couldn't get the positions from Libero and Jamham. And we've got Cherkadan in P9. But Riggsy, what are your thoughts? Eke P4, Dominic P1, gap, as it stands at the moment, going into Brazil, is 7 points. How is it?
It is definitely piqued my excitement. I'll say that much. I mean, not to blow my own trumpet, did say Dominic would win it for the start, and he gets it. So fair play to the McLaren driver there. 25 points in the bag, and that is exactly what he needed, especially since his title rival finished in P4 when penalties were added onto the final race results here in the United States. So we are on the podium celebration. Dominic spraying that champagne like there's no tomorrow. He'll be well more than pleased with that result. Urban Unicorn drove a quiet race in P4 near the end there, but it was enough to get him on the podium and on the second step. Advanced done really well there in the later stint. He really does love having a lunge at folk. And especially into turn one, well, those times where we were
Definitely.
sitting on board with Dominic and Neki, and he's just thrown the Ferrari up the inside, and that could so easily go wrong. But he just makes it stick. He might overshoot it at times, but we love the effort. It's an A for effort. Like, I'll say that. But anyway, yeah, race results for the United States Grand Prix are as follows. Dominic is the race winner on the McLaren. It's very crucial for the championship. Cuts the deficit down from 20 points down to 7. Urban Unicorn close the line in P4, but finds himself in second. Vansix had a strong showing here in the United States. He finishes third in on the final step of the podium. Eke in P4 in the Red Bull. Toxic Fusion down in P5. Libiero, best race result there we were sitting discussing at P6. Hamjam P7. Buckley P8. Chaka kind of went battles for the start in P9, and Mick Stalio rounds out the top 10 for the United States Grand Prix, and that is your race results for this race weekend here in Austin, Texas. We are being joined by the podium. We did see Avancic just join the party there. Will we be joined
yes,
by...
let's get, Dominic in. Unicorn won't be able to get an interview because he is, or unfortunately doesn't have a mic. So we're going to try and get Dominic in. That is a much needed victory for him. Eke down in P4. Definitely something that is going to rustle a few feathers in the Red Bull family. But on his return to the league, Ivanzi 18, finishing in P3. Ivanzi, make sure you got your audio included. A quick spare of the moment sort of joining back, and you get second place. How was the race? And can you comment on the dive bombing? Because we definitely enjoyed that.
Oh. Whatever, I mean, yeah. Dive bombing? Me? Nah.
Wow. Confident on the break, shall we say?
Well, come on, you're racing for the lead, mate. If, you know what I mean? It's all or nothing, isn't it? As a racing driver, you gotta give it what you can. You know what I mean? End of the day, I don't feel like a dive bomb anyway. But if you get upset, you got to go for it. My car was very fast in a straight line, you see, so that's where I had my advantage. I knew in the back straight, that's where I had to make the move. But it doesn't really matter, does it? Because I had 2 stupid penalties, and that let me down, unfortunately. Otherwise, I was up there again. When I nice return, I enjoyed it. Being back with the boys. Hopefully I'll be there next week.
Definitely influenced the championship a lot there, Ivanzi, so thank you for that.
Yeah, no worries, mate. No worries. Good to be back.
Okay. So, Urban Unicorn, second. Unfortunately, can't be interviewed, so we're going to quickly interview Dominic. Dominic, another victory. What you needed here this evening. The gap now is 7 points going into Brazil. Can we see the championship being won by you this season?
I don't know.
Yeah. I think we've not got... Oh, Dominic? So,
Yeah.
sorry, Dominic. I just asked another victory this evening. What you needed. How do you feel then? The gap is 7 points. How are you feeling about potentially winning your first title? Okay, Dominic, thank you and well done. 7 points now. We wish you the best of luck for the championship. Okay, Rigsy, thank you for joining me in the commentary box here this evening. Well done to Ivanzi, Urban Unicorn and Dominic for getting podiums here this evening. And well done to everyone who competed and of course finished the race. Commiserations to those who were forced to retire out of the race. That concludes then your 19th round of this season. We still have had no wet races, but Brazil next week could definitely prove that statistic wrong. There you go, got it in the end. That concludes the United States Grand Prix. Join us next week, 7 p.m. GMT, for the penultimate round of the championship, the Brazilian Grand Prix, where Dominic and Eke will be going the ultimate prize, the World Championship, in the next 2 weeks. Briggsy will be joining me in the commentary box, and we will be getting the thoughts and opinions from Eke00 as he embarks on his championship battle next week in Brazil. Do join us then, and until next week, goodbye.